Hi everyone. As a continuation of previous video, we'll see shearing. Right? We'll discuss a sum in shearing concept. Right? So I'll write the formula. So shearing I can perform along x-axis, along y, or along z. Right? So we'll write the formula for shearing along x-axis. So new value of x is equal to x old. When I perform shearing along x-axis, y new will be y old plus, since I am performing shearing along x-axis, it should be x old and shear factor along y-axis. Right? Next, z new will be z old plus shearing along x-axis, so it should be x old into shear factor along z-axis. Right? Similarly, I can write the formula for shearing along y-axis. So it should be x new is equal to x old plus y old into shear factor along x. Similarly, y new is equal to y old. Z new is equal to z old plus y old into shear factor along z axis. I'll write the formula of shearing along z axis. It should be z new is equal to z old, x new is equal to x old plus z old into shear factor along x axis. Similarly, y new is equal to y old plus z old into shear factor along y axis. Right? So this is the formula of 3D shearing: shearing along x axis, shearing along y, and shearing along z axis. Now we'll discuss the sum. Right? Given a 3D triangle with points 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2 and 0, 1, 3, apply shear parameter 2 on x-axis, 2 on y-axis and 3 on z-axis, and find out the new coordinates of the object. Right? So first I will perform shearing along x-axis. So before that I will write shear x is equal to 2 given in the question, shear y is equal to 2 given in the question, and shear z is equal to 3. Right? Now we know the formula, that is x new is equal to x old, y new is equal to y old plus x old into shear factor along y, and z new is equal to z old plus x old into shear factor along z. Right? So first endpoints I'll write, it is, I'll assume the first point 0, 0, 0 as a 0, 0, 0. Right? So x new is equal to x old, which is 0, y new is equal to y old, so y value is 0 plus x old is 0 into shear factor is 2. So what I'll get? I'll get 0. Z new is equal to z old is 0 plus x old is 0 into shear factor along z axis, it is 3. Right? So the new coordinates new coordinates will be 0, 0, 0. Right? Next, we'll consider the next endpoint, which is 1, 1, 2. Right? So B is equal to 1, 1, 2. So here x new is equal to x old. So it will be 1. Y new is equal to y old plus x old into shear factor along y, which is 2. So if I calculate, I'll get 3. So Z new is equal to Z old 2 plus x old is 1 into shear factor along Z axis, it is 3. 3 plus 2, 5. So the new coordinates will be it is 1, 3, 5. Right? Next endpoint will be 1, 1, 3. Right? So it is C is equal to 1, 1, 3. So x new is equal to x old, which is 1. Y new is equal to y old. Y old is 1 plus x old is 1 into shear factor along y axis, it is 2. So when I calculate, I'll get 3. So Z new is equal to Z old. Z old is 3 plus x old is 1 into shear factor along Z axis, it is 3. So I'll get as 6. So the new coordinates will be new coordinates is equal to 1, 3, 6. Right? So for the given triangle, right, when I apply shear along x-axis, I'll get these 3 new coordinates. Right? Next I have to calculate for shearing along y-axis. Right? So shearing along y-axis. Right? I'll write the formula. Y new is equal to y old. Right? X new is equal to x old plus y old into shear, since it is x new, shear factor along x axis. Similarly, Z new is equal to Z old plus, since shearing along y axis, I should write y old into shear factor along Z axis. This is my formula. Now I have to apply this formula for the 3 endpoints. My first endpoint is A is equal to 0, 0, 0. Right? So y new is equal to y old is 0. This is x, y and z. Right? Similarly, x new is equal to x old plus y old into shear factor along x axis, it is 2. So I'll get 0. Similarly, Z new is equal to Z old plus y old 0 into shear factor along Z axis, it is 3. I'll get as 0. So my new coordinates will be 0, 0, 0. The next endpoint is given in the question, it is 1, 1, 2. Right? So it is 1, 1, 2. Right? What is my formula? Y new is equal to y old. So y new is equal to y old. Y old is 1. Next, x new is equal to x old. Right? 1 plus y old is 1 into shear factor along x axis, it is 2. So when I calculate, I'll get as 3. Next, Z new is equal to Z old 2 plus y old is 1 into shear factor along Z axis, it is 3. So I'll get 3 plus 2, 5. Right? So coming to my new coordinates, it will be x, y, z. So it will be 3, 1, 5. Right? Next endpoint will be 1, 1, 3. Right? So again, y new is equal to y old is 1. X new is equal to x old is 1 plus y old is 1 into shear factor along x axis it is 2. Right? So it is 3. Similarly, z new will be z old 3 plus y old 1 into shear factor along z axis it is 3. Right? So it is 6. Coming to my new coordinates, it is x, y, z. So 3, 1, 6. Right? Next I have to calculate for shearing along z axis. Right? I'll write the formula. Z new is equal to z old, x new is equal to x old plus z old and shear factor along x axis. Similarly, y new will be y old plus z old into shear factor along y axis. Right? So for the first endpoint it is a is equal to 0, 0, 0. It will be z new is equal to z old 0, x new is equal to x old 0, z old 0 into shear factor along x axis it is 2. Right? Y new is equal to, which is equal to 0 here, y old is 0 plus z old is 0 into shear factor along y axis it is 2. So I'll get my new coordinates as 0, 0, 0. Coming to the next endpoint, it is 1, 1, 2. Right? Z new is equal to z old, which is 2. X new is equal to x old is 1 plus z old is 2 into shear factor along x axis it is 2. So 4 plus 1, 5. Right? Similarly, y new is equal to y old is 1, x old is 2 plus shear factor along y axis it is 2. So again it is 5. So when I write the new coordinates, it will be x, y, z. So it is 5, 5, 2. Similarly, for the next endpoint, it is 1, 1, 3. Right? Z new is equal to z old, which is 3, and x new is equal to x old is 1 plus z old is 3 into shear factor along x axis it is 2. Right? So it is 6, 7. Y new is equal to y old is 1 plus z old is 3 into shear factor along y axis it is 2. 6, 7. So my new coordinates will be x, y and z. So these are the new coordinates after shearing along x, y and z axis for the given triangle with the endpoint 0, 0, 1, 1, 2 and 1, 1, 3. Thank you.